Went out to harvest some herbs now that the bees aren't so active. And the thing I want to harvest tonight is some clary sage. Let's see if I can get on the tripod here. There we go. That's a good angle. Clary sage is pretty interesting. Mine is pretty young. It hasn't actually bloomed. I haven't got any flowers off it yet. But the leaves are also beneficial. And what I like to use clary sage for is in a hair oil that I make. Clary sage is actually useful for growing hair, and it has some other uses. It can be used to help with hormone balancing. The aromatherapy is beneficial for making you feel better during childbirth, menopause. The inhalation, like also aromatherapy, is supposed to help with things like reducing cortisol. It's supposed to have an antidepressing type effect. It's beneficial to your skin, but my number one interest in clary sage is putting it in my hair oil. And it just smells really nice. Last night I was looking at some more of my herb books, and I noticed that they don't all have every single thing about the herbs in them. And so I think it's good to have a lot of different resources for herbs so that you can get a full picture of the uses. Like the one book that I've been sharing with you in my herb videos, actually so far has had the best as far as recipes for preparation and using the herbs. But there's actually a lot of resources out there online. So I read my books and I look online to see all the uses. But isn't this nice? It's so peaceful out here. Just enjoying the evening. And another thing about herbs is I kind of find it useful to harvest as I go, because it helps avoid buildup of bugs, right? So if you're continually harvesting your herbs, your produce, your fruit, whatever it is you're growing, you're less likely to have problems with bugs. And it'll help you spot any bug problems that you might have that you might otherwise not be aware of. This stuff is pretty interesting. The leaves are kind of furry. And so when you dehydrate it, it kind of looks kind of like fluffy fur in some respects. It smells a lot like regular sage, but it's a little more aromatic. And it seems to do pretty well here in our climate, especially if you have it in a shaded area of the garden. And I have a few of these, and one of them actually overwintered, so I'm really hopeful that this can be a perennial in our garden. This is definitely a different growing environment than what I'm accustomed to. Originally I'm from Alaska, so there's a lot of things that I can't grow here that I grew in Alaska, but there's a lot of things that I grow here that I couldn't grow in Alaska, such as fruit. Something I really enjoy. I guess wherever you live, you just got to learn how to grow what grows, right? If you're interested in gardening. And I'm happy to say that herbs grow really well here. Well, while I'm out here, I'd like to go ahead and harvest a little more rosemary. So let's go over there. Hi, looks like we have a few people joining us. Bill Norton, thanks for joining us. Let me see, can I say this right? Snup Puppy Gaming, hi. Thanks for joining the channel tonight. Over here now we're gonna harvest some rosemary. I harvested quite a bit of this the other day, but I couldn't get as much as I wanted because the bees were all over. The bees really love this spearmint right here, which I got quite a bit of it, but got to be careful with the bees. The bees here, I've never actually been stung by a bee. I have been stung by hornets before, usually from just not knowing they're there and moving something and they get mad at you. I kind of feel like if you put off a peaceful vibe, the bees kind of leave you alone. But I don't want to push it because our bees are mixed with killer bees here. And so you could really get yourself into some trouble. One thing's for sure is don't ever smack any of them. Don't smack them. But I do pretty well with the bees. They usually leave me alone. But if they're really active, and a lot of them on anything that I have growing, I just kind of give them their space. I would really love to have a honey hive, but we live too close to other people for that. But I don't think we could safely do anything like that, not without putting ourselves or our neighbors at risk. So we will just have to be thankful and enjoy the fact that we have pollinators for all of our plants and trees, and that is something to be thankful for. Bees really do make it happen. Without bees, we're not going to have much food production. And that actually affects everything. It's not just humans, it affects the animals as well. And fertilizing is really important too. You don't really realize how important it is until you have something that hasn't fruited and you go and put some fertilizer on it, and a week later you've got more cucumbers setting on. It's pretty remarkable how that works. And actually, we have some cucumbers setting on this plant. I know it looks pretty awful. Hey, thanks Phil. I'm glad you like bees too. Hi Jaden, thanks for joining us. Let's take a look here. These cucumbers kind of like to hide. Let's see, right down here, can you see it? There we go. There's one sitting on right here. This is the first time I've actually ever grown real life-size, or not life-size, but big cucumbers. But I fertilized with my husband's help a week ago, and this thing is setting on a whole bunch of cucumbers. Now it's definitely at the end of its season here, but look at that. All these little cucumbers are setting on, and these are the full-size ones. So that is pretty exciting for me. Garden first. Well, thank you for joining me in the garden tonight. I just wanted to harvest some herbs and share with you what we got going on out here. Hope you enjoy the peacefulness of nature like I do, and have a blessed evening. Thanks for watching.